Hello, I'm Michael Redmond, professional Go player. In this video, I'm going to be talking about squeezes. And squeeze is where you sacrifice a stone or some stones to force your opponent to play some ineffective moves or to get into a clumpy shape which is not very efficient. And in particular, all of these examples in this video are going to be using a throw-in, which is where you virtually throw a stone into the tiger's mouth, into a point where it's going to be captured immediately by the opponent. And we got into this a little bit in the previous video about the snapback, so I hope you'll be seeing some similarities there. In general, a squeeze can be a tactic in which you're giving your opponent a local advantage and taking potential profit in the rest of the board, and that kind of squeeze is appreciated by advanced players. But since I'm assuming the viewers are seeing this video for the first time, I'm going to just show you some examples of squeezes that actually capture the opponent's stones. The advantage of playing the squeeze is more obvious, and it's more fun to capture stones. So I'll get into it. Here we have this shape. Just to explain what's going on here, there's 3 black stones here which are connected to each other, 2 black stones here, and 3 black stones here that are pretty much connected. So these 3 groups are disconnected from each other. And to look at the white groups, there's these 2 stones which are connected to each other, these 2 stones, and these 4 stones. And so white has these 3 groups that are disconnected from each other. It's a sharp situation. So this is where the 2 white groups are disconnected here at the diagonal, and these 2 also are diagonal, so they're not connected. And so the black stones here, they're diagonal, not connected, and these 2 are not connected. So that's how we came up with 3 groups each. And these 2 seem to be black's weakest group. These 2 stones are two moves away from being captured. If white plays these 2 points, white will capture the 2 black stones. Black is going to try to capture these 2 stones. If black just plays an Atari from above, white will answer here. And after this exchange, it's very easy to count the number of liberties that white has. White has 3 liberties here, and the black stones have only 2. So there's no way black's going to manage to win that, provided white keeps playing locally. So that was not correct. So here comes the throw-in. Black plays here. Now this stone is played at a point which is attacked by 3 white stones. These 3 white stones in the V-like shape, they're creating a tiger's mouth. And they're attacking that point that black has just played a stone at. That J4 point is being attacked by these 3 stones. And white can play a 4th move to capture that black stone. However, when white plays that, there's an added stone there which enables black to play an Atari here. So when black plays here, this stone that white has just played to capture the 1 black stone is actually getting in the way for white, because these 3 white stones are an Atari here. So in order to try to save these stones, obviously black's next move would be here to capture the 3 stones and take them off the board. So let's try playing here with white. After this, we get into a ladder. So we did cover this in a video about ladders. This is a very short ladder. In fact, it goes straight to the edge of the board, and black has a number of ways to chase this white group. With every move, it's an Atari. The ladder shape is generally thought to go diagonally, so something like this, or this diagonal works too. Or when you're so close to the edge of the board, you can just chase straight down, and that works also. So these white stones have been captured. Going back to the beginning, the vital move was black's throw-in here, which has taken away white's liberties. And this clump of white stones is filling its own liberties most of the time. Black is very efficiently filling white's liberties from outside with all of these stones. They're all participating in filling white's liberties when black plays here. So that was the first example of a squeeze. Let's do it in a slightly more advanced situation. Okay, here we have a larger shape. It's more stones. Maybe it looks a bit more complicated. It's a very similar tactic that black is going to use to capture the white stones. We have some black stones on the outside, which are mostly connected there. And we have a black group on this side, which is using the tiger mouth to connect all diagonal stones there. We have a white group on the inside here, and this looks like it's the weak white group. This is one we want to focus on. And white has some stones on the outside. So black's weakest stones are these two, which actually cannot escape out into the center. If black tries something like this to escape, white will capture it. So white has surrounded those two black stones in a kind of a net shape. So those stones cannot escape out into the center. In order to save those stones, black has to find a way to capture this white group. In particular, it's these three stones that black is trying to capture. So we can start with black playing an Atari. White connects here. And let's just count the number of liberties. Now it's 6 white stones. Let's just count the number of liberties these 6 stones have. They already have 3 liberties. When white has 3 liberties and black has only 2, white is going to win this race to capture. So that was not the correct move. So just remember that I was talking about the throw-in. And we're going to throw in a black stone inside the tiger's mouth. So the first tiger's mouth that we're going to attack is this one. White has 3 stones here, attacking this point here. So if black throws in a stone there, black will immediately lose it. But that is part of the plan. So black will throw in here, and white can capture this black stone. Black will then play an Atari from here. And white's 3 stones are an Atari. White has to connect. It's good to notice at this point that this white stone here is actually filling one of white's liberties. In the case where black had played a simple Atari, white had an open liberty at that point. In this case, when black has thrown in the stone there to force white to capture it, white has that extra stone, that the marked stone is filling one of white's liberties. Black still has 2 liberties with those 2 stones. Black still has to continue correctly here. If black just plays an Atari, white will connect, and we can count the number of liberties white has. White already has 3 liberties. And with this group, it even looks like white's going to get more later, but 3 liberties is good enough already for white to win. So to go back one move, black is going to throw in once more at this point. So again, it's a very similar shape where white has these 3 stones attacking that point. So the moment black throws in there, it is an Atari against the 7 white stones, but white can immediately capture it. Black plays here. White has to connect. White is in Atari. And again, you will see that this move that captured the 1 black stone, that stone is getting in white's way. It's filling one of white's liberties. So all of these stones that are filling white's own liberties are stones that were added because black threw in a stone and forced white to capture it. So that's how the throw-in works. Let's just go through the order of moves once more. Black throws in here. White is forced to capture it. And next comes an Atari. And then a throw-in again. White can take it. But white ends up running out of liberties. White is an Atari still. And similar to the previous example, after this, black has a number of ways to chase. So black can play straight towards the corner, the side of the board, or black can continue in a diagonal in a ladder-like form. It works either way. Okay, this is an example that is arranged from, it's actually from one of my own games in which I played this move and it was threatening white. So in this case, I'm going to say it's black's turn to play, and let's look at the overall situation. There's a fight starting in the center of the board with a white group here and a white group here in the corner. This group in the corner seems to have enough room to be alive. So this space that I've circled is probably white's territory. Black is also split into 2 groups, with a group in this upper left corner, and this group, which seems to be leaned on by white a little bit. It seems black might be a bit uneasy about how this group is going to continue. If black can find a way to connect these 2 groups, it has to be by capturing some white stones. So we're going to see the throw-in in action again. When you talk of the throw-in, you just look for a place where white is threatening to capture you. So in this case, it's this move. But first, this is the correct move, but first I'll show you a mistake if black just plays an Atari here. Then white will connect, and these 5 white stones, they have 3 liberties. So I'll mark 3 liberties that these white stones have. That means that whichever liberty black takes, it's not going to be an Atari. It's not going to threaten to capture the white stones. And let's try continuing with the cut here. White will chase towards the edge of the board. Black has only 1 liberty, which is this point, and white has 2. So black is not going to win this. Black might escape to the edge of the board. White continues chasing, and black has run out of places to run. So this did not work. So to get back to the correct variation, black throws in here. This stone is attacked by 3 white stones. So basically, you might say it's in the tiger's mouth. That's what we call this shape, where white is attacking an intersection with 3 white stones. So white can capture it. So in this position, we just compare it with the other variation where white had 3 liberties. White had these 3 liberties. In this variation, there is a white stone at A7 that is filling one of white's liberties. That's what the throw-in accomplished by forcing white to play that move. So black can cut here, and this comes as an Atari. Atari is threatening to capture your opponent's stones next. So these 6 white stones have only 1 liberty. They only have the 1 liberty at A6, and there's no way for white to increase the liberties of those stones. If white plays an Atari from behind, black will just capture. In actual play, white would realize that at this point and probably leave it, or at least save the 1 stone at B6 by playing here. It would end up something like this, and black has accomplished by capturing these stones. Capturing stones is always fun, but also by doing so, black has strengthened these 2 black groups by connecting them up to each other. And black even has some space for eyes in that little territory that black has made. So that was another example of the throw-in. Now let's look at it in the context of a life and death problem. So it's going to be in the context of making 2 eyes. Okay, here we have a shape, a black group in the upper right corner, which is pretty much surrounded by white. And in a previous video about making 2 eyes, I did talk about how you can make a living shape with 2 eyes. And this is going to be kind of an expansion on that video, because black is going to combine the idea of making 2 eyes with the throw-in idea that we have been discussing in this video. So pause the video if you want to figure it out for yourself, but I'm just going to go straight ahead and show you the answer. This area is the space that black might call black's territory, and black starts by expanding it with this move at M13. So black has a 3-point shape here, and if black can play another stone at N12, that shape will be divided into 2 partitions, which we call eyes. So it's this eye and this eye. So it's going to be a living shape. And if you have any doubt about that, just go to the 2 eyes video where I explain this concept. If white wants to try to kill the black group, white's move will be in the middle here, stopping black from dividing that area into 2 eyes. But this is where black has the throw-in ready. Black can throw in here. This stone is attacked by 3 white stones. And it's the same pattern as we saw before. If white captures it, black can play an Atari from behind. And if white connects, black can cut here. And this stone that white originally used to capture the 1 black stone, it's getting in white's way, and is filling white's own liberty. So in this case, white cannot save the whole group. In actual play, white would probably realize that and would play some kind of a defensive move. So that could be a connection at one of these diagonal points, or it could be another tiger's mouth, and that would suffice to save those stones. And black would be able to play this move to make 2 eyes. So that's an example of a life and death problem combined with the idea of throwing in. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked it, like it, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you.